Well, everybody, I'm totally and completely cooked, and I'm in a situation that I've never been in before. Not for real. Alrighty, folks. Well, welcome back to Blake's Room. Just want to let you know that I care about you and I love you. I love you. It's hard to love. That's kind of what this episode's about, because I'm in a situation where I have been seeing a girl for 3 months, and we've gotten to the point where she is very irritated at me right now. And for example, this morning I texted her and I said, "Good morning." And she said, "Hi." And I said, "How did you sleep?" And she sent me the thumbs up emoji. You know that is, there's some irritation there. You can just tell that she doesn't really want to talk to you at this moment. And like you're in the wrong. I feel like she's kind of giving me the cold shoulder here. And I said, "Wow, what's your goal with that?" And I know why she's mad at me. So I'll get to that in a second. And she said, so I said, "Wow, what's your goal with that?" And she said, "What's your goal with texting me?" And I said, "To see how you slept." And she said, "Fine." Okay. Okay. When a girl says fine, it's just typically not fine. Okay? And I'm a 28-year-old man that's never had a serious relationship. Okay? Okay? I've dated a couple girls, and typically through the years, I go on maybe 2-3 dates and it's over. It's done. Sometimes it's because they like me, but I don't like them. Sometimes it's because I like them, but they don't like me. And then most of the time, I don't like them and they don't like me. So it never ends up going very far. I've been seeing this girl for like 3 months. This is the longest that I've ever seen somebody in a serious way, in a romantic way. And we're in kind of a fight right now, I guess you could say. And I kind of like it, kind of like this like back and forth. She was yelling at me on the phone, screaming her little heart out. Such a cute little heart she's got. She's yelling at me, said that, she's basically right about everything. Okay. We've been fighting the last 2 days. And when I say fighting, it's like, I don't know. We're fighting. She's yelling at me. She's screaming at me. But then we're like laughing at the end of the phone call. So it's kind of an interesting back and forth. And I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's cool to fight with somebody. I think it's kind of a beautiful thing to have someone yelling at you with so much passion and emotion. I don't know if that's weird. Could be a little bit weird. But hey, I'm just being me. Okay, so 28-year-old man, been seeing this girl. Oh, okay, so 27-year-old man, never been in a serious relationship. She likes me a lot, or so she says. And you see, that's one issue that I've got, is she seems to like me a lot. Okay, which I like. But I also don't like it. Okay? Sometimes I think it's a little suspicious when someone likes you so much. You might think that that's a strange take on it. That I should like. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, excuse me. You might think that that's a strange take on it and that I should like that she likes me a lot. But there's just something about, when someone likes you so much, it's like the pressure's so high. It's like the stakes are so high. Like, I don't want to let this girl down. I don't want to let her down. She likes me so much. What if and then all the what if questions start, right? So we're getting into my issues, right? What if this, what if that, is this my wife? Could I spend family vacation, with her, raising my kids? Could I come home every day and see her and just think, wow, I'll adjust who I am for you, in a healthy way? And all the what if questions start happening, right? So it's like, yeah, she likes me too much. That's one thing here. Okay. So it seems like she could be semi-idolizing me. I think she just is totally head over heels. I think she looks at me and thinks I am just this super, super attractive 6'3" amazing man that she just wants to just be close with. She just loves being close with me. And I really like being close with her too. I feel very comfortable sitting on the couch with her. That's something that I've never actually been comfortable with. I've never felt super comfortable with any female to kind of that level where you can just be yourself. You could roll over and flop on top of her or something like that, with like a nice power, like midday power nap type vibe. And, so she just loves being close with me. And I'm concerned. I'm concerned that she is so infatuated with me or fascinated or whatever the word is, that in like 3 months, 4 months, things that I currently do are going to start to bother her that she didn't realize before, because the image of me was distorted, this like fantasy image of me. So that's one thing that concerns me. And I need her to be able to kind of talk to me. I think she gets a little nervous, to be honest with me, because she doesn't want to scare me away. But she's also totally obsessed with me. And so it's like this weird balance of wanting the other person to have a clear image of me, as well as accepting that someone might love me for who I am. Maybe she just loves me. Maybe she does see me clearly. And maybe I'm running away from that. And maybe that's why I don't like how much she likes me, because I don't like myself. Are we just getting somewhere? So there's all these thoughts, right? There's all these thoughts that I'm going back and forth. And I guess to basically tell you and describe what has happened here, all right, let's get into the details of the situation that I've been entertaining for the last 3 months. So I've been seeing this girl. We knew each other for 3 years, but when I met her, she was 18. Okay? And I'm a little older than her. So I must have been 24. 18-year-old, 24-year-old, right? Getting kind of close to a line there, right? But she did not go to college, and she was working at the same company as I was. She clearly had a crush on me the moment that she laid eyes on me. Okay? And she was cute, but she was 18, and I'm 24. I'm just trying to grind and just build my life. I don't got time for all that, Ain't nobody got time for that. So I keep it very professional, okay? And I don't really give her any attention in that type of vibe, all right? I helped her out, kept things very, very neutral. I never flirted. I never tried to hook her or anything like that. Kept it very serious. Never hung out with her one-on-one. Didn't really hang out with her at all. Only time we really hung out was at like group, like the company parties. There's like 30 people there, 40 people there, things like that. So 3 years goes by. Now she's 21. And basically on Halloween, I had added her on Snapchat. We'd been Snapchatting for like 2 weeks prior to Halloween 2025, 3 months ago. And the reason that I added her on Snapchat was because I left that company that I was at, and I felt like I was opening up that door just a crack, right? But when I added her, she snapped me right away. So we started Snapchatting, which I don't Snapchat. Okay, I'm a 27-year-old man, but I have the app, and I did add her. She's the only person I Snapchat, and like my bro, Benny Vale. Okay. So then we hang out on Halloween, and we talk from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. straight. Long time talk. And so basically from that moment on, we were seeing each other. It's like, bam. We would talk a ton. We did a lot of talking in the first few weeks. And I'll be honest, it went from like 0 to 100. I was there like 3-4 nights a week, sometimes sleeping on her couch, like, because we would just talk so late. All right, no funny business going on, keeping it very healthy, very clean. And and so about a month and a half in, right, so mid-December, I dip from Minnesota. I go to Chicago for work for like 3 days. I'm back for like 2 days. I see her a couple times. And then I go to this vacation with my dad and my brother, and I'm there for like 10 days. Come back. The day I come back, the next day is Christmas Eve, and then it's Christmas. And I had her come over for Christmas. She met my family once, and she had come over for Christmas, right? I'm trying to include her as I've been gone, and I'm still kind of pulling her into my world a little bit. And then what happened was, and this is what really pissed her off, okay? Now we're getting into some meat. So I had mentioned a few times that when we first started seeing each other, that we will just see each other and we'll talk at the end of the year and we'll kind of establish what's going on here, okay? But I brought that up a few times. I was kind of joking, like our end of the year meeting. And in like November, she's like, stop saying that. I don't want to, you're putting so much pressure on this. I just live in the moment. I don't want to think about that. I just want you to live in the moment. And, she basically said I'm like the only thing good happening in her life at the moment. Not true, but I was probably, I'm the most exciting thing. It's winter. A lot of her friends are at college, like stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna adjust my sails here, because I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt this girl. Make sure to like let her know we're gonna talk. Let her know that like we're gonna really figure this out. And things like that. But then I stepped back and I was like, I can live in the moment. I never do this with anybody. I never give myself away to anybody like this. Okay? So, but then what happened was I unexpectedly went to Chicago, and then I unexpectedly went to Florida, and then it was Christmas, and then there was a few days in between there that led up to New Year's Eve. And I spent New Year's Eve with her and New Year's Day with her. And then I left the day after New Year's Day to help my homie move to San Diego. And I was going to stay there a little bit. And I didn't know when I was coming back. I was just doing a little surprise vacation there. I needed to get away. I needed to enjoy my life. And my friends got a free spot in San Diego, 6-minute walk from the beach. And so I get in the car the day after New Year's Day, and I go on a road trip to California with my homie. And I don't know when I'm going to be back. And so at first she's like, okay. She was sad that I was leaving. But then it was like, I'm calling her every day there. And she's like, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? When are you coming home? And I just don't know. I'm trying to give her like kind of a date, in like 2 weeks maybe. But I just really don't know. I'm enjoying myself so much. It's like a week goes by and I'm like, okay, it'll probably be at the end of this upcoming week that I'll book my ticket. She's going, la, 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 la. When you're coming home? When you're coming home? We're talking, catching up every day. And then finally, I buy my plane ticket and I'm on my way home. And we'll come back and we have a nice few days. She's super excited. She's kind of pissed that I was gone for so long without really knowing what date. That really upset her. And there's a couple things that happened on the trip that she was irritated by, but really, I think she was just missing me. And she just was getting more and more anxious that we never had that end of the year talk. But I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't really know that that's what she wanted. And it was so chaotic, right? Because I was in Florida, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, gone, San Diego, 2 weeks go by, right? So it's like, and before I left for these trips, Chicago, Florida, Christmas, New Year's Day, San Diego. Before I left for these trips, we'd only been seeing each other for like a month and a half. October 31st, right? November, and then mid-December is when I left, right? Month and a half, 6 weeks. Okay. And it's also a little bit of a complex situation. I'm not going to get into it, but she had a boyfriend for a lot of the time I knew her, those 3 years. She was seeing another guy after her boyfriend that I know, and that, like kind of a homie, but also I don't trust him, and we have our issues in that relationship. So that's a little bit different. And we work together, and it's like just there's these multiple deeper complexities that I'm not going to go into that made it a little bit weird when we first started seeing each other. Because it was like I knew her for 3 years, and then it was like, bam, all of a sudden we're together. It was like I didn't even imagine being with her ever. That's the big thing. It's like I never really ever imagined being with her, although she was super cute and fun. She was just so young, and she's younger than me. So I'm 27 now, and she's 21 now. So it was like when I met her, I was 24, she was 18, right? So I never entertained it. And then all of a sudden, bam, all of a sudden it's like I'm hanging out with her every day, and it's like fun, laughing, long conversations, tons of comfortability, more than I've ever had in my life with a girl. So it just got all screwed up because I was taking all these vacations, right? Chicago was for work, but then I kind of did this like spontaneous trip with my dad and my brother. And then I was in San Diego, kind of hanging out, helping my friend move, but also just like chilling, waking up 10 a.m., very well rested, walking outside in 70-degree weather with a hot cup of coffee, walking down the street to the ocean and people watching and enjoying God's beautiful earth. Okay, I didn't want to come home to Minnesota where it's freezing cold and everyone is freaking out. Oh, baby. We're really getting into this. We're really kind of deep diving into my relationship that I've got going. So now this is the situation we're in. Let me wrap this up here. I get back from San Diego and we have a nice couple hangouts, but then a few days later, we hadn't seen each other for like 2 or 3 days, and we go to this guy's house that I know, and she's like cold shouldering me the whole time. She drove separate. She gets to the place, and I'm like, hey. And she's like cold shoulder, right? She's being playful about it, but like she's not really talking to me the whole night, okay? And people could tell. People are kind of making fun of her too because she was being polite in a weird way, but like letting everybody know that she's kind of upset with me, right? She was like still laughing, and people were like, ooh, you and Blake, she's like, oh yeah, rolling her eyes, like stuff like that. Not the end of the world, right? She wasn't being like disgustingly annoyed or anything, like where you'd not like her. She was like just being a girl, hanging out with the girl that was there, like laughing with my friend who owns the house, and then like basically everyone's kind of teasing the fact that me and her aren't talking, right? It's chill vibes. Anyways, she comes over to this guy's house that we're all hanging, just giving me a little attitude, being playful and things like that. But I am like, what is going on? Right? I'm confused because like we had a nice couple hangouts recently. It was almost like we were getting deeper in our connection, right? And then she's just like, la 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 la. Okay. She's been holding in all these thoughts and emotions that she was waiting for me to pick up on, that we were going to have that end of the year talk, and basically that I should be making her my girlfriend soon. Okay, she's not getting a lot of security, I guess. And I don't know any of this because it was like a month and a half of seeing each other. Then I'm gone for essentially 3.5, 4 weeks, come back, have a couple nice hangouts, and then all of a sudden she's pissing me. Okay. I can't read a girl's mind. It's like, I wish she would have told me this. And I think it's good because we're figuring out how to communicate. She's finally kind of telling me things that she thinks and feels. Okay. So we hang out a couple more times, and that kind of leads us to this week, where this week we got a little bit more into it. Got a little bit more argumentative. She's yelling at me. I'm kind of yelling at her, but it's like, it's playful, right? It's kind of this interesting yelling argument type vibe. Maybe this is completely toxic. I don't even know, but it's like scream at me, but laughing. It's just the emotions are just so intense, right? There's a lot of passion And it's not like there's a lot of anger. At least I'm completely calm, right? I'm chilling. I think we're good. I personally think that we're good. I can say that it could be possibly time for me to make her my girlfriend. I could see that. Okay. I'm open. I'm not dying on no hills here. I'm flexible. All right, brother. But it's a couple more tweaks I think that need to happen. And I don't think that we've been seeing each other for this insanely long time to not be boyfriend girlfriend. Right? And there wasn't really a time to make her my girlfriend. Unless it was like on New Year's Eve before I left for a couple weeks. Like, I just didn't think that was the vibe. But anyways, so we're kind of going back and forth and kind of figuring it out as we go, I would say. And I just am facing these very interesting, doorways. Right? It's like I've never given my heart away to somebody more than this. And I think that should give her security. She's saying that she's like, oh, you have commitment issues, which we all know, right? Everybody knows that. And then that's making her afraid. But I feel like the opposite. I feel like the fact that we've been seeing each other for so long, that should give her security because I've never seen somebody longer. Okay, so it's like this weird thing. No one's really wrong. No one's really right, right? She feels afraid, which is fair. I feel not afraid, and that should give her security, that we're seeing each other, right? And it's like I'm paying for dinners. I'm opening the car door. I'm opening up the store door wherever we're at. The entrance to the mall. And get this, right? So she remember the part where she wanted to talk and I didn't realize, and she wanted to kind of bring this thing further and I didn't realize. But when I got back from San Diego, I asked her point blank as we're having a nice night, with a smile on my face, is there anything that you'd want to talk about that I have not been bringing up? Or is there anything that, is important to you that we could talk about in our relationship, right? Like opening the door, like, I don't always know what's going on. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly, is there anything you're thinking about? I feel like that's a powerful question. And I feel like a lot of women would just dream of their man asking them that, right? And she looks at me with the smile, the sparkle in her eyes. I don't think I can think of anything right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was just asking. And we move on. And like 2 days later, she's like giving me the cold shoulder at my friend's house, not talking to me. And then there's like all this stuff starts coming out, right? So this is just showing she's afraid. She was afraid to say that. Or she wasn't necessarily afraid. She wanted me to bring it up. She wanted me to be like, girl, I like you so much. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. And I want to make you my girlfriend. That's what she was. She just wanted me to just look at her and just say, you know what, you're my girlfriend, right? But that's not exactly how it went. That's not exactly how it's going. Even though I probably will make her my girlfriend. But anyways, that's kind of the rundown here. So if there's, that's the rundown here, folks. So if there is anybody out there that is figuring out how to have a relationship, maybe you could have related with some of this stuff, right? This is just my personal experience. And so what else is there? I mean, that's kind of the rundown here. So basically what we came to the conclusion of the last few days of just kind of like talking on the phone, yelling at each other, laughing with each other. Like, it's what I mean by like, she was like, I call her last night. And we get into it. She starts yelling, that's so stupid. You're not even thinking. You don't even know how to think. You don't even know. I know. I've been in multiple long-term relationships. You have no idea. And you have a box of rocks in your head. Stuff like that. But then like I start cracking up because she's yelling. And then she starts cracking up because she's just saying this crazy stuff. It's just like the emotions in her are just going crazy. And so I feel like there's this like common understanding that that's what's going on. But basically we, after she's done yelling, so I'm like, okay, so what you're saying, girl, is all these problems are going to go away. And you will feel much more comfortable and secure if I make you my girlfriend. And she goes, yes. Like right away. Yeah. It's like, okay. So that's what she wants. She wants to be official. She just wants to be official. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I've just never been official with somebody. That's just really where we're at. I've never been official with somebody, and she wants to be official, right? So we're just working that out. So that's basically the situation that we're in, and I feel like I'm just kind of processing where she's at, what her thoughts and emotions are. I'm processing where I'm at, what my thoughts and emotions are, and then I'm just trying to kind of do little touch-ups, right? I asked her this morning, good morning, how you doing? And she's going, meh. And I'm like, okay, we can still ask each other how each person slept or something, right? Anyways, she just, clearly she is like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to give you nothing until we are boyfriend, girlfriend. I think that's I think that's okay. I think that's not unfair. I can understand where she's coming from, and I can understand her thoughts and feelings. And she's had a crush on me for like 3 years. So I've had a crush on her for like 3 months, and she's had a crush on me for like 3 years. So we're coming from like different places here. All this to say, where am I at? What's Blake thinking? I would say I'm probably going to make her my girlfriend. And the thought behind that is, I don't know if she's my wife. And I don't like that. I would prefer to know if she's like, oh, this is my wife, for like 99% chance, even like 80% chance is my wife. I really don't know, because I'm learning about relationships and I don't know exactly what you are supposed to feel. Right? I think love, a lot of the times, is way more about, will I sacrifice what I want for this person, and vice versa. So I'm flexible. It's not about easiness. It's like, I think that she would shift towards me, and I feel like I could shift towards her. I feel like I'm open to her perspective on a lot of things. I'm open to the way that she operates on a lot of levels. And I don't think that she is unwise or an idiot or anything like that. I feel like she's aight. So I'll probably end up making her my girlfriend. And then, I don't think that all the issues are going to magically go away. But at least a big one will, because the main issue right now is she just wants to be my girlfriend, right? So I would have to discover what issues come along with going into that deeper entrance of a relationship. So the other thing is, I think I'm talked out. I think I'm talked out here. I think that's about it. I kind of gave you the rundown on what she's like, gave you the rundown of the story, gave the rundown of our conversations, and I'm pretty sure that I'm good. Is there anything else? What's the next thing? Okay, last thing I'll say. She wants me to make her my girlfriend, but she leaves out of town on Thursday, and today is Tuesday. So it's like, make her my girlfriend, and then she leaves for 4 days? Like, is that the vibe? And it's like, no. Anyways, I think that we're good. I'm pretty sure that this is enough of a rundown. All right. I think I'm all talked out, bruh. Anyways, thanks for watching. I am just a 27-year-old man, just sitting in his bedroom talking to a microphone about what I'm thinking. I feel like it's kind of funny. I feel like it could be funny. I would say, if I was a random person and I had a longer attention span, I could listen to kind of this 28-year-old kind of just go back and forth, just kind of analyzing how I'm 27. Keep saying 28 because my birthday's in April. I'm 27. And I feel like if I was just a random bot person that I could sit and watch me talk about this random stuff, but this could be like totally stupid and really not worth anybody's time. But at least I did it. At least I'm talking because I think it'd be cool for me to watch. And really the point of this is just for me to be able to talk better, more clear, share stories, and just kind of do my thing. I'm not really expecting anything from anybody from watching this. So, bye.